My Mustang needs a little bit of help with launching. You know, it's really difficult for me to hold down the gas pedal and release the clutch pedal at the same time. So we're gonna do something that's gonna help out with that by installing a Watt box. If you don't know what this does, it makes the car shoot flames, but let me put a disclaimer out there. I am not using this in order to shoot flames. The goal here is to use the two-step and launch control out of this. It's up to your discretion. You can do whatever you want with it because the two-step is cool and you can also shoot flames with it. So without further ado, let's jump into this install. The thing you're gonna need to do this install is actually remove your front wheel on the passenger side. I'm just gonna show like a step-by-step for everything because everyone's tutorial out there, for lack of better terms, isn't the best. So I'm just gonna step-by-step it, show every wire that you need to tap into and solder so that you can do this at home without having any stray questions. So how much do you squat?
365 for 5.
Talking to somebody that squats 365 for 5, by the way.
Not for 1, for 5.
Got our control module here. You can place this wherever you want, but where they recommend is in the glove box. So what I'll do is put like a piece of 3M tape, and the blue box will sit right here, and then we'll actually run the wires now behind the glove compartment and through the firewall. We should be able to see it from the rear of there. So all these wires need to go through there and then to the front. Take off that kick panel, you'll see exactly where you need to go ahead and remove everything. So Anthony's just gonna pull it all through now and it should be good to go. So all those wires need to be ran right there. You'll see it if you have someone like stick their fingers through, you'll see exactly where that needs to go. And then this will go behind and I'll plug it into the glove box where it passes through the firewall, and then if you run it behind the glove box you can get the wires up here. Now that that's ran, I'll show you all exactly what it looks like. So here's the firewall entrance that I was talking about. Now you're gonna take this full loom and you're gonna run it behind. So right there, actually where my fuel system is already running, and then we'll feed it through the top here, run it underneath the fuse box. We'll unclip that, and then this is where we have to do all the wiring. I'm just gonna wrap this all up. Definitely recommend getting a wire loom, but this works anyways. I'm just doing this just in case, you know, if it gets hot or something like that. This will give it an extra layer of protection and will also help me like pull it through, keep it nice and organized. So I'm just wrapping it up. Blackout, like there's still some slack. Yeah. I guess I'll wrap those ends there because I don't really want that to be exposed like that. Yeah, I'll wrap that. So just give me a little bit more slack. We ended up lifting up the fuse box. You got these two pins, it lifts up. We ran the wire, which is wrapped in the green electrical tape, from here all the way back around here to the front. Now we have all of this sitting here and we are dying.
It's pretty hot.
It is hot. When you try to remove the ECU harnesses, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Nobody explains it, but I'll explain it. So this is the lock position. You can see you can't flip it. This is how it's gonna be. What you do is actually press this tab in the middle, and it's really difficult to see because you can't see anything down there, but you just press it in the middle. This will lift, the harness will come out. So yeah, it's definitely not easy, but both of them are out now. We got the top and bottom one as instructed, and we are gonna start soldering. I need to delete this, the windshield wiper fluid reservoir, because my hood doesn't have windshield wiper things, so we don't have that fluid anymore. We don't need the reservoir. It is what it is. Weight reduction race car. We do have a 2019 and up. We're gonna be splicing into the yellow and blue wire on the top connector. It's pin number 40. I'll put a picture of the pin and I'll also link the instructions, but this is where you should be doing it if you have this car. So we're gonna try and get enough copper exposed so that I can wrap the green wire around it and solder it. But I do need to be careful here because that's not the best entrance.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah. That's been spliced. We're gonna go ahead and expose some copper here on this green wire, and then we will take this and wrap it here around and solder. So that's basically what you need to do. I like to twist this here so that it's more controllable, and then we'll just wrap it around the exposed end on this side. That's pretty much what it looks like when you have it all done. You wrap it around, now we can take the soldering iron to it. Just got that solder done. I'm gonna yank it because you don't want this failing. So I actually know somebody that blew up their Gen 3 because they didn't do this properly and the oil pump stopped pumping. So what they do, they starve the rod bearings.
Boom.
Yeah, you do not want these to fail. So just gonna do that, looks good. Wrap it up in some electrical tape. Usually you would wanna you know, get a heat shrink over it, but we can't because it's like that. We didn't cut both ends, but the instructions say to just wrap it. So we're gonna do that instead. I'm trying to remove this pop clip so I can just access this a little easier, but man, this thing does not want to come out. To get the blue wire on the bottom connection is I passed it through here since I deleted my windshield wiper fluid reservoir, and I tapped it to a navy blue and white wire. So that was the hardest one thus far due to the lack of room. Now we're doing the next one, which is the middle ECU connection, and it is a yellow and violet to yellow. So that's what we're doing right now, yellow and violet to yellow. That was that one knocked out. Now we've got two more wires, red and orange, and I think those go to a completely different spot. I think they go to the top connector thing, one of these or something, the ignition control. Now we're gonna completely cut the violet wire for the coil. This is located above all of your ECU harnesses. This is scary. Cut right through it, and then this side that comes from the plug is gonna go to the red wire. This side will go to the orange wire, or vice versa. I'm not sure, I gotta correct that. Let's strip this back.
A lot of fun, huh?
Stressful. It's actually the red wire to the violet wire from the plug, so I'm taking care of right now. Really making sure to get a good connection because I don't want this to fail. Wherever we fully cut the wire, you can heat shrink because, yeah, you can fit the heat shrink over. Otherwise, you can't. So that's why I just use electrical tape. But on this, we can actually weatherproof 100%. Installation instructions did also recommend that you go ahead and tape off everything, so I did that. Yeah, it should be good to go. Put some electrical tape on each of the harnesses that we tapped into or soldered to, and now this can all be plugged right back in and we can start to set up the software. It is all said and done. It does clean up quite nice. I mean, it doesn't look too terrible. I made sure to, you know, wrap everything up, make sure that it's not making contact with something that can get hot because that could cause some issues, and you just want it to be somewhat clean, you know. Also don't want it making contact over here. I wish I could have wrapped those wires a little bit earlier, you know, like the ones up there, but they'll be okay, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just used some simple 3M tape and stuck the actual control box right there. So now we need to set up the ground. That is the last thing we need to do because I haven't set that up yet, and I think I'm going to use this bolt that's right here underneath the kick panel. Oops, wrong way. Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? Eyelet there actually barely fits, but it does work. So we're gonna send it and tighten it down. That's a perfect ground. That guy right there was actually perfect. You know, got that bolt tightened down. So we're good on that. I think we need to download software next, if I'm not mistaken. That is the next appropriate step here. Get this all set up software-wise. We have to download something. Download the software. You're actually supposed to pick Mazda Speed 3 as the option for the RPM source, which is kind of weird. FYI, I could not get the watt box to connect. It kept saying something about like couldn't read the data from the watt box, and you guys want to know why? It's because you need to extract the entire download of the whole thing together at the same time. So you got to extract it. Don't leave it zipped and then try to run the program files. It will not work. You will have the same problem. About to kill my battery again. Anyways, yes, so what you need to do is extract all of the files out of the Wattbox download. If you do not, it will not read on the Wattbox program. And that was a problem I had. So I finally figured it out after sitting here for hours, extracted all, and then ran the driver first, then opened the program. It's finally connecting here, and we could set this up to actually be correct. So we have to do Mazda Speed 3 and all this stuff. These are the Wattbox instructions for 2018 Plus Up Mustangs. They provide this. I will link it down in the description below. We're going to copy it bar for bar, word for word into there, and then click right.
The next day.
Sorry about the attire, but I've been working on this all morning, so I'm glad that it finally worked. Or it sounded like it. flashing the Wattbox tune right now. You can see it's labeled WB. Hit up my boy Alejandro from Lund Racing, or Alex. So yeah, we'll write the entire. And yeah, we can do some testing with it, which we'll do in a separate video. I'm gonna see if I can get the car to hook with a prep from the track.
3 days later.
I did run into an issue where the Wattbox wasn't wanting to engage. So I tested it out before we went to the track that one day. I did get it functional for the track, but basically the Wattbox wasn't reading when the throttle position sensor was all the way down. So when your foot all the way down on the gas, it wasn't reading properly. And the fix here was to change the TPS threshold specifically for Mustangs to 1.71, and then it started working again. So I figured I would like share that, and you can tell if it's not working because you can use the vehicle snapshot and read from the Wattbox, and it'll basically tell you the voltage when the when you have your foot down all the way on the gas and on the clutch. So on mine, it was reading for the clutch, but I wasn't getting a throttle position voltage, signifying that the throttle or the gas pedal was all the way down, until I changed the threshold, which is this right here, TPS threshold, to 1.71. A little two-step battle between the New Edge Mustang and Sally. I honestly think Sally sounds a little bit better. It sounds cooler instead of the turbo just like shh. You guys can let me know what you guys think. I'll show both two-step clips from both cars. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and make sure to check out the vlog where we took Sally to the track to test out the Wattbox.